Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the J Lounge. Of course, you guys know I'm your hostess with the mostest, Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson, bringing you guys another wonderful episode of the J Lounge. Of course, everyone out there knows the J Lounge is where it's a podcast show where we talk with celebrities, actors, directors, singers, you name it. They all come down here and they all have a really great time. As per normal, I am very excited to be introducing my next guest. He is an award-winning actor in TV, film, and theater, and he's here to talk about his work, and I cannot wait for you guys to get to know him. Please give a super warm welcome to Barry McClendon. Hi,
Hello.
Barry Clifton.
Hi, how are y'all?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for asking me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Barry, now that you're on here, I want to go ahead and fire the first question at you. What began your passion for acting?
Well, there was really two starts to it. Initially, my mom. Mom got me involved in community theater when I was just a kid, maybe 7, 8 years old, something like that. Maybe not. I don't remember. I was too young to remember. And she got me involved in community theater at what was then called West Art Community College. So I played a lot of in the chorus of a lot of musicals, Music Man, Oliver, things of that nature. And I just fell in love with the show people, just the atmosphere, the live audience. We used to stay up late night after opening night, waiting for the newspaper to come out.
Oh,
I was told that's what they did in the big cities, and
yep.
back then the
Yep.
newspaper would review the plays. So we would stay up late night till the papers came out, and then it was just so exciting. I just loved every bit of it. And then I kind of cast that aside through a series of events. I won't go into great detail, but some things happened. My father passed away. I began drinking and partying and stuff like that, and just forgot all about it. I went so far down that road. And so when I was 29 years old, by the grace of a power greater than myself and with the help of lots of people, it was rekindled. And I remembered that passion. And so started exploring it and did my first stage play after almost a 40-year hiatus. Pick something easy. We did Macbeth. And,
Oh, yeah.
and after that, it was nonstop from then. I mean, it was almost as if I hadn't stopped, except for perhaps my skill level. But the passion was almost as if it had never stopped.
I love that. I love it when people rediscover their passions, especially after, a dark period of time. It's a beautiful thing. And I'm glad you're able to find your passion again, rediscover it. And, as if for those who don't know, Macbeth, beautiful play, but a difficult play. So that was sarcasm when he said he picked an easy play.
And, Audrey Moore coined the term second act actor. So I like to consider myself a second act actor.
Oh, still though, but that's powerful. That's incredibly powerful. Going on to number two questions. Name three people who influenced your career and why.
Local influences were there's several. There's so many great actors here locally. Candace Hinkle's one of them. Dean Denton, Ed Lowry. The reason I mention those folks is because they have quite a few professional credits. So there are wonderful stage actors here that pretty much just do the local theater, and they inspired me because of their great talent. But professionally, those folks have done some really great credits, and so that led me to know that you could live in Little Rock, Arkansas, and still be in major film and TV productions. So those folks influenced me professionally. That's locally. Now, also early in my career, as I started deciding that I wanted to make a go of this professionally, Bonnie Gillespie. She has a book called Self-Management for Actors, and she also had a very active Facebook page at the time. It got so big, I think it's kind of inactive now. But Self-Management for Actors, I think, was the name of her Facebook group. And more importantly, a kind of a spinoff of that group called Ninja Self-Tape Challenge. And so she introduced me to practicing self-tapes quite a long time ago. There's an interesting story. I guess we got time for that because you could edit it out if we don't have time for it. But they have the self-tape challenge was a 30-day deal where you commit to doing 30 tapes in 30 days. And so I committed to that. And I was in the Marine Corps during that period. That's maybe the one good thing that came out of that. But when I commit to something, I do it. So I committed to do 30 tapes in 30 days. And I did it. And I had no idea that it was going to happen. But on day 31, exactly, like the first day I was not doing a self-tape, there happened to be the rare open casting call in Little Rock, Arkansas. I haven't seen one since then, frankly.
Wow.
And so I went in to audition for a film called God's Not Dead, A Light in Darkness. And I was better prepared than I'd ever been in my life because I'd been in front of a camera every day for 30 days. Didn't matter that it was my camera. I felt confident. I wasn't nervous, and I went in and I booked the role. And it was my first speaking role in a film with a national release, working with phenomenal actors. And that was a huge deal. So back to the question, Bonnie Gillespie. And then later on, to kind of to a next level, Audrey Moore. Audrey Moore has a podcast called Audrey Helps Actors. And that's really been a game changer for me. Through her, I met a lot of people, my team, basically, except for my agents. So Audrey Moore introduced me to my audition coach. Courtney Cunningham is one of my audition coaches that Audrey introduced me to. I've since met Jennifer Lynn Warren, who's a wonderful coach. And also my stylist, which we can get into if you want, Image by Buckley Sampson. When I went in for headshots, I used to always just grab a bunch of clothes and go in and say, here, take my picture. And I learned through listening to Audrey Helps Actors and then working with Buckley Sampson, there should be a lot more to it than that.
Yeah.
So professional Bonnie Gillespie, Audrey Moore, Courtney Cunningham, Jennifer Lynn Warren, and Buckley Sampson.
Love it how you know all the names flawlessly. Not one name was missed. But that's amazing. That sounds like an incredible team, an incredible group of people. Sounds like a life-changing experience, especially doing that challenge.
Mm-hmm.
That to be prepared, more prepared for your roles and everything. And I think that's amazing. I really do. I really do.
Thank you.
Of course. Going on to the next question. What has been your best role to date?
Well, definitely Miles Tatum on Yellowstone.
Yes. I know I got Yellowstone fans out there.
Not only was it the largest role, production I'd ever been in, it wasn't that, there are no small roles, they say. It was a couple of lines, but it was in, one of the top shows on TV. And I got to work with Josh Lucas, who was amazing.
Wow.
Also, Catherine Voss was the director, and she was incredible. So working at that level of show and that big a show, and I loved the show. And I got to go to Montana, and I had to fly in Friday for the COVID test and fitting, but we weren't shooting till Monday. So I took the weekend and went up one of the mountains there. It was in the Bitterroot Mountain Range, and I climbed up the mountain, and just kind of helped me breathe in the environment, because I was playing a Montana rancher. So just kind of taking in that environment was wonderful. And not only that, but it was beautiful scenery.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know the name of the mountain, but luckily I could drive most of the way up it. But it was beautiful country, nice people, and wonderful folks to work with on set.
That is amazing. I mean, come on, it's Montana. That has one of the most beautiful views, in all of America. Views everywhere. That's just the natural beauty of Montana.
And that was what was neat. The little town we were in, I think it was called Hamilton, is in the Bitterroot Mountain Range, the valley, and so you really could look in any direction. There were beautiful mountains. At that point, they were still snow capped.
Perfect location. Perfect location. That's incredible. And of course, be able to, work with Josh Lucas, who's been, in the acting game for a while, and then Yellowstone, all I know is that some of my friends are crazy about that show. So I know
Josh Lucas, he's been doing this for 35 years. And,
my God.
He was actually born in Arkansas as well. As was I. So, and he was real friendly on set. And we didn't have much time. in the green room because Catherine Voss had started off as a cinematographer on that show on season 1. So she'd been with them 5 years, and she was director of photography on the unit that we shot, and so she was almost talking shorthand with the other photographers, and so we weren't in there long because they would get the setup, man, quick. They would get those setups changed quick.
Oh my goodness, and any time is a meaningful time. So even if it's like for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it's still meaningful.
That's right.
Um, Absolutely. Going on to the next question, as an actor, what roles do you gravitate to?
Well, I mean, there's kind of two answers to that question.
Yeah.
As my manager said, and I know full well that my career is in the building stage. So whoever's casting. But as far as if I had my preference, I like period films. I like Westerns. I think those really influenced me a lot when I was a kid. I remember the pirate movies. I just talked to a friend of mine who's going to get to be in a pirate movie, and she has sword skills. She's skilled with a rapier. Period film, Western, pirate film, even though colonial film. I don't know why I'm drawn to those. I just remember those as a kid. I think I have a good look for it as well. So I also have to think about shows that I'm castable in, because I don't want to just get so far out there. I love sci-fi. I don't know that I'm right for sci-fi. I think I could do it, but anyway, period films, particularly Westerns. And I'm taking writing lessons now with a World Championship Western Pleasure horse trainer and rider. Her office is just full of blue ribbons. I'll go ahead and mention her name, Carol Jones. She's part of the team now too, and she's a wonderful riding teacher. And her assistant Violet has given me my last couple of lessons. As a matter of fact, I had one yesterday, so my legs are kind of rubbery. She was teaching me the 2-point position, and that's kind of stressful on the legs at first.
Yeah, completely agree.
So I'm preparing. It's not just I want to be in a Western. I'm preparing myself to be in a Western.
Yes. Speaking to existence, it's going to happen.
Right.
It's going to happen, and it's going to happen soon. Love it. Well, Barry, I want to make sure my audience is able to keep up with you and your work. Where are you on social media?
Well, it depends on where you hang out. If you're at Facebook, facebook.com/BarryClifton.actor, youtube.com/BarryClifton, vimeo.com/BarryClifton, instagram.com/Barry.Clifton. My website is BarryClifton.com. Normally you can find me most days at www.weaudition.com/BarryClifton. I hang on a We Audition a lot, and we can talk some more about that. But someone I failed to mention, Ethan Paulini taught a class at the Arkansas Repertory Theater called The Business of Show. And one thing he suggested is get those vanity URLs whenever you can. Facebook.com/BarryClifton. Get it before someone else does. And he said even what was it? Not before FaceTime. MySpace. He said even MySpace. You never know, that might get hot again.
I wish that would be so amazing.
Yeah, I think I've even got like a Snapchat. I know
not Snapchat.
Yeah, I've got the Twitter. I've got the I forget which, but I just as I hear of these new platforms, I'll go ahead and just get that URL anyway so that I have it.
That is awesome, and that is great advice to do so. I highly encourage, and not only that, I highly encourage my audience. Make sure you follow Barry Clifton on all social platforms as well.
And also that, your own website. It's incredibly inexpensive to do that, even if you don't do anything with it. I mean, it's like, I don't know, I'm guessing here, but I'm thinking it's like $60 a year or something like that to have.
That's worth it to me.
That URL. That way you have it locked down. And he did say go with the .com, not the .org or the .web or whatever.
Right. Yeah. I completely agree. .com is it's a classic. It's can't be the classic. All right. Going on to the next question. What future projects are you involved with that you can give a dish about to the J Lounge audience?
There's a film called Hellfire starring Stephen Lang, Harvey Keitel, Scotty
Oh,
Thompson, and Dolph Lundgren. That was filmed here in Little Rock that I was a principal in. I didn't get to work with Harvey Keitel, and I really like him.
mm-hmm.
But I did get to have some great scene with Stephen Lang and Dolph Lundgren and Scotty Thompson. So that film is not, it's in post production now. It was produced by Johnny Remo, who does a lot of productions here in Arkansas. And the reason I want to mention him is because I want to thank him. I really appreciate the fact that he continues to make films in Arkansas, and would like to encourage others to do so. We have a wonderful tax incentive, a great film commission. Look up Arkansas Film Commission if you have any questions, or contact me, and I'll put you in touch with Christopher Crane, who's our film commissioner. But yeah,
Yeah,
Hellfire is coming out, and I look forward to that.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, make sure you keep us here at the J Lounge informed.
All right.
We love new projects, especially new films. So yes, make sure you keep us here informed. All right. Going on to the next question. Barry, what goals do you hope to accomplish in your career that you haven't yet?
Well, as I mentioned before, a role in a period Western film or TV show. I mean, technically, I have appeared in a Western. Yellowstone is a neo-Western, but I would like to be in a period Western film or TV show. I'd also like, I've had co-star roles on NBC's The Thing About Pam, as well as Yellowstone, but I have not had a guest star role. So I would like to have a guest star role on a major network, preferably recurring,
Oh, yes.
or even, I'm not even counting out series regular. Now I know series regular, unless you're in Los Angeles, that is a tall order, but
Yeah,
not out of the realm of possibility. Like there was a show,
exactly.
Bluff City Law, that shot in Memphis for a while. So there are some other, and New Orleans isn't far. I have my agent there, Terry McNeil with Del Corral. A lot of shows are shot in New Orleans,
Yep,
and
that is
Atlanta's
true.
not that far either. So that's it. Guess, and it's a progression. Usually, I mean, there's no tried and true way that an actor's career proceeds.
True.
In most careers, you go to college, you study this thing, you become that thing. You go to med school, you become a doctor, or what have you. With acting, you never know. But generally speaking, you get a few co-stars under your belt, then you can maybe get a guest star role or two, or maybe even a recurring guest star, and then hopefully a series regular. But there's so many times it doesn't follow that path. But that's what the goals that I have, that I set for myself, that I'd like to achieve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you never know. You never know. I've spoken with a lot of actors here. They always say all it takes is just that one certain role, do that role well, and then, you know, the realm of possibilities just opens up.
That's right. Now I do want to say that I don't necessarily believe in the myth of the breakout role. I used to think about, I just wish maybe this will be that breakout role. And I tell you, I've worked with actors, and I'm friends with actors who have been series regulars, and they're now waiting tables, trying to get guest star and co-star auditions. So you can have a major role in a major show, and you're still not set for life. You know what I mean? You're still a working actor. The folks that have those, that become movie stars after one role, that happens. But I think the vast majority of workers, or what I like to refer to as just blue collar actors,
Yep. Yep.
they're out there sludging away, doing self tapes, just like the rest of us. And, again, the breakout thing does occur, and more folks are going to see it. And that's really the only benefit, I think, of being quote unquote famous, is that, you may bring more of an audience with you. So casting's going to look at that, or casting's not going to look at it necessarily. Production's going to look at that. If you have a bigger following, this, that, and the other, they're more likely to cast you in a role. I know I've been beat out, and that's one of the downsides of coming into this as late as I did. Most actors my age, they have a ton of credits on their resume. They have huge followings on social media, so they're going to bring more of an audience. Doesn't matter necessarily whether they're better for the role or not. Sometimes production has to look at who's going to bring more of a following, who's going to get more people to buy tickets or to tune in on the TV. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you are absolutely right about that. You are. There are as you say, the blue collar actors who are, making those self different shapes, and then there is those actors that all started one role, and now they it's as you just said, though, an actor's career path, you never know.
never
You
know.
never know.
Mm.
All right, going on to the next question. Name three actors you would love to work with and why.
That I would love to work with. First is probably Adam Driver. Uh,
Yeah.
Adam Driver again. He spent all his summers in Little Rock, Arkansas, growing up. His father actually worked at Office Depot, and he printed my headshots years and years ago.
Oh my God.
But
Full
Adam
circle.
Driver, a couple of more reasons, of course, because he's a phenomenal actor, but also we share some other things. He was in the United States Marine Corps, as was I, and grew up around Little Rock. So I would really, and he talks about how the Marine Corps really is a great training ground for actors. One thing that he doesn't say, but I say, you learn how to hurry up and wait, because
Hmm.
you show up early on set and then you just sit in the trailer for hours sometimes, and that's fine. But he also talks about how the similarity, another similarity, is that when you have a TV show or a film, you have people from all over the country, all different walks of life, and you're all thrown together with one clear leader, the director, and you have a common goal that you have to accomplish very quickly. And that's very similar to the Marine Corps. So Adam Driver, number one, and then Anthony Hopkins, just because
How could you
he's
not?
just
How could you not?
mesmerizing. He's absolutely mesmerizing. I don't know, I've not read much about him. I don't know how he is on set. He seems to me he would be rather quiet and not chatty on set, but I would still love to work with him. I got to work with because the way the question, I wasn't sure if you were asking who actors I loved to work with, or I would love to work with. But I got to work with John Malkovich and Melissa Roxburgh on a film
Oh,
called
wow.
Mind Cage, and so I had one line and it was cut, but I was in every scene that they were together. I was there in this observation room watching them. That was my role, but I was also observing and watching them, and so I got to watch them develop. They had developed their own characters, right? But when they came together and saw what each other was bringing to the role, I got to watch them develop those characters. And so, whether I talked with them, I didn't chat a lot with Mr. Malkovich or Miss Roxburgh, but we chatted. They were kind and everything, but I did get to watch them work, and so that was fascinating. So the same with Anthony Hopkins. Even if we didn't have a chance to chat, it would be wonderful just to watch how he approaches the work.
Absolutely.
And the other same thing, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Ah,
For some
yes.
reason, I didn't. Why not dream big, right? And I used to, for some reason, I've always had this knack where if everybody likes something, I run the other way. Oh, I don't like that. So I tried not to like Leonardo DiCaprio, and I think it was I don't know why, and I think it was when he played Howard Hughes. He's much too young to play Howard Hughes, and he
I
played it
thought so. Oh
brilliantly.
my goodness. I thought so for
He
the
was
longest time.
it was brilliant, and it was a wonderful film. And after The Revenant, I finally realized, he's been good since what is it? What's the matter with Gilbert Grape?
Oh my God.
He's been fantastic since then. He's just always been phenomenal. He's just phenomenal, and I can't put my finger on why. Just he's believable. I think he's so committed. When I
Yeah.
saw Revenant, that really invigorated me to just go. Matter of fact, I shot a short film after that, and there was no dialogue in the film. It was a post-apocalyptic film, and one time we actually did, an animal was harmed in the film. I caught a fish and killed it, and I almost took a bite of that raw fish. I'm glad I didn't. No telling what I would
Me
have got.
too.
But yeah. So Leonardo DiCaprio is the third. So
Yeah.
why not
Yeah.
dream big, right?
Right. Right. Oh my goodness. Those are amazing choices. First of all, Adam Driver, to me, he's one of the most intense actors of
Mm,
his generation. And I know some people are sometimes put off by that, but I love the intensity for an actor when they are full on committed to that role and they're just, leaving it all on out there. He's just one of the top, just one of the best, and he's just incredible. And then Anthony Hopkins, I mean, he has just written the book on
mhm,
on
mhm.
acting, really written the book, and it's still writing, still writing. I mean, he
That's
has
right.
played all and any role imaginable, and is still going. And I
Hmm.
think that is amazing. There's just he's doing it for because it's just a pure passion for him, and that's how much he loves it. And I just think that's incredible. And then, of course, for Leonardo DiCaprio, I kind of felt the same way you did for a while because I was like, okay, Titanic's okay, people. I do see, young Leonardo DiCaprio. I do see why people are going crazy. But it wasn't until, for me, it wasn't until I saw Leonardo DiCaprio and Django that really that really cemented that this man is one hell of an actor. I loved his performance in that film.
Well,
So
also, if you haven't, go back and watch him and Romeo and Juliet.
yes. Oh,
I
thank
thought that was a
you. Thank you.
beautiful production.
That
Beautiful.
was. That was. To me, that's one of the best modern ways
Hmm.
to tell
Hmm.
Shakespeare.
I think
Um,
so.
I think that's incredible. I haven't seen the new updated version of Macbeth with Denzel Washington. I do need to. I heard great, great reviews on that film. So,
Well,
but yeah.
I got to see Denzel play in Julius Caesar on Broadway, and it was remarkable.
Oh my goodness. That is incredible. All right. Okay, Barry, going on to the last question for you. What, in your own words, what has been some of the most rewarding moments in your career?
Well, becoming a member of SAG-AFTRA, I think that's really important to mention right now because of the strike going on by the Writers Guild of
Yep.
America and the upcoming negotiations. SAG-AFTRA just today opened up voting for strike authorization. Now, all that means is that when our negotiators go to the table, they have authorization if it passes. And I would encourage all SAG-AFTRA members to vote yes.
Mm-hmm.
If that passes, they will go to the table with a strike authorization, so they have that power. I've been quoting Mark Twain. It doesn't matter the size of the dog in the fight doesn't matter. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
Yep,
And
that
we
is
got to
so
show
true.
them we got fight, and we need to stand united with our brothers in the Writers Guild of America. And after that, the Directors Guild goes in for their negotiations. So this
Mm-hmm.
is a year where it's really, I think it's time. You see these production companies, these members of AMPTP, the CEOs' salaries are just skyrocketing. Their profits are skyrocketing. But the most creative people in Hollywood are the accountants. So they make it look like, oh, we're not, we're struggling, but then they report to their stockholders that these massive increases in not only income but also profit margin, and
Mm-hmm.
and they need to start paying that. And then they're also the AI stuff needs to be addressed. Right now, it's not
Yes.
regulated, and I have a friend who does a lot of voiceovers for video games, and they changed the script. They didn't call her back in; they just used her voice and computer generated the changes, and that's just it's
That's not okay. Not
so
okay at all.
no.
So I agree.
So
I
becoming a member of SAG-AFTRA, also I got to be in a couple of professional equity productions with Arkansas Shakespeare Theater, and that was remarkable. I don't really, I'm not going to take the time now to be in stage productions probably because TV stuff is such a quick turnaround. If you get pinned for something, you may have to fly out at a moment's notice. But I'm so glad that I got to be in a couple of seasons with Arkansas Shakespeare Theater and work with remarkable stage actors from around the country. Um, and there's just something about being paid for your work that just makes you feel that you deserve to be there. So that was another thing. And then also working with two Academy Award winning actresses. I got to work with, of course, Renee Zellweger on the thing about Pam, who's won a couple of them. And then I worked with Tatum O'Neal in God's Not Dead, A Light in Darkness.
Oh,
And,
wow.
she's the youngest actor to ever
Yep.
win the Academy Award. And so working with those two people was just an amazing opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I've been a very huge fan of Renee Zellweger. Actually, her Oscar-winning performance, Cold Mountain, is one of my favorite movies. Love watching it. Love watching her in that film. And as you said, Tatum O'Neal, youngest actor ever to, win the Oscar and still acting. I mean, that is
And
two
that
powerhouse
was
actress.
she won for the film Paper Moon.
Yep.
If you haven't seen it, it still stands up. It was Ryan O'Neal and Tatum O'Neal, and he was a flim flam man. He was a con man back in the Depression or the Dust Bowl back in those times. A really good film.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And it's one of those films that Tatum, she did such an amazing job that I do hope that, the Academy Awards, they pay attention to the young actors and actresses,
Hmm.
making performances like that. Because there's a ton of them that definitely have given Oscar-worthy performances that, didn't get recognition. So,
Right. And I
um,
would also, again, feel free to edit it out if you need to, but I do want to mention my representatives, my team, if
mhm,
that's okay.
mhm.
Treasure Coast Talent Agency in Los Angeles, Gene Winger. In New Orleans, Del Crawl and Associates, Terry McNeil. Here locally in Arkansas, the Agency Inc., Yancey Prosser. And my manager is Andrea Courtney with Established Artists.
Love it. Love it. Shout out to the hardworking team. Thank you,
Thank you for
everything.
all you do very
Yes,
much.
absolutely. Absolutely. Teamwork makes the dream work. And you
That's
can't
right.
make the dream work without a team.
That's
So
right.
I love
Well,
it.
and when Leonardo DiCaprio won the Academy Award for The Revenant, the first thing he said was, "Oh, I'd like to thank my team." And my thought at the time was, "Oh golly, I hope I get big enough someday to have a team." And I finally realized that that's not the way it works. You
No,
you don't get there unless you have a team.
exactly.
So don't wait to start your team. And that can start as I met a filmmaker at an Arkansas Cinema Society event the other night, and it was he and his wife. So his wife's he's got a one man team right now, and that can be a powerful combination.
It
So
can be.
yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with Barry. Don't wait to start your team. Your team, start building it here and now, and get that support and all that and then that says up. So I agree. I agree. Barry, you have been an absolute pleasure to be able to speak with today. I'm so glad my audience is going to know about more about you, your work. I appreciate you giving me your time today.
thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Of course, I want to encourage my audience one more time. Make sure you follow Barry Clifton on all social media platforms. Make sure you support their work. And again, if you have any questions about, auditions and stuff like that, Barry said, look him up, ask him some questions. He'll definitely be more than happy to answer for
Absolutely.
sure. All right. All right, everybody. You guys know I've been your hostess with the most, Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson, bringing you guys another wonderful episode of the J Lounge. I want to thank everyone for listening in. I want to thank my guest one more time, Barry Clifton, for joining in today.
Thank
Um,
you.
yes, absolutely. If the sun is shining, I'm going to go out there and enjoy it. Until then, everybody, have a great day, and I'll be back soon.